All right, so this is the CST from 5 years ago. This is a seventh grade assessment, which pretty much tests what you guys will be tested on the CASP. Okay, so question number 11, you guys can see this is frankly a multiplication of decimals. $37.50. You guys are consumers. You go shopping. If you see something that is 20% off, you know that 20% as a decimal is 0.20. Please go ahead and write this down on your paper. 37.5, which is 37 and 5 tenths or 50 hundredths, times 0.20. TJ, computer is closed. Thank you, sir. And if you do type this in the calculator, you'll see that ultimately 20% of $37.50 is $7.50. So how much is deducted from the original price? $7.50 is deducted from the $37.50. Now they're not asking what you pay for the sweater, they're just asking about the discount, what is being deducted. Remember, with the discount you're taking away. Okay? If we take a look at question number 12, this problem actually requires you to take off two sales. So it's basically like the store having one sale, and then you get to the register and they give you an additional sale price off. So I'm going to go ahead and ask that once again, you please be respectful, allow me to read this out loud. I would also recommend when you're tackling word problems, read the word problem multiple times. I usually like to circle numbers in the word problems because these are numbers that you are obviously going to have to use. Okay, so I'll read this. Jason bought a jacket on sale for 50% of the original price and another 25% off the discounted price. If the jacket originally cost $88, what is the final sale price that Jason paid for the jacket? So let's kind of think about this. If you have a $100 jacket and it's 50% off, you're only going to pay $50. But guess what? They're going to now mark off another 25%. And I believe that's $12.50 off the $50. So ultimately, what you would pay for this jacket is $37.50. Now the jacket's not 100, it's 88. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply 88 times 0.50. Now please remember, we've talked about converting percentages into decimals. 50%, when you think of percent, think of out of 100. So 50 out of 100 as a decimal is 50 hundredths, 0.50. And so as you can see, 88 times 0.5, that's 44, and you're not done yet. You now need to multiply that by 0.25. And 0.25, which is 1/4 of 44, is $11. So you're going to take off another $11, and then as you can see, the jacket is now $33. What I would recommend, and I'm trying to just give you suggestions when you are taking this CASP test in 2 weeks, do all the work first. Don't even look at the answers. And then when you get your answer, go ahead and check to see if it's up here. The odds are if you get the correct answer and it's here, you pretty much know that you have solved this problem correctly. All right, so let's go ahead and now move into question number 13. Like I said, all I need is about 15 minutes of your time, and we'll go through 10 through 19. Question number 13, right off the bat. Can I ask someone, Chloe, what do you see me doing right here? What did I just do to those two numbers? Yeah, I underlined them. And one of the reasons why I would do this is because you need to pay attention to important information. And obviously, these numbers are going to be used to find the answer to this question. Marl borrowed $200 at 12% simple interest for 1 year. If he makes no payments that year, how much interest will he owe at the end of the year? So basically, if you guys could pull out your calculators or cell phones to utilize your calculator, what they're going to ask for is 12% of $200. This is going to be the interest. If you guys have ever borrowed anything or borrowed money, credit cards, your parents pay interest to borrow money or to use the credit card. 12% is actually not that bad to borrow $200. And anyone get, what is 12% of 200? Yes, Romy. What did it, 24? Cool. So as you guys can see, Romy told us the answer, $24. Now what I want to do is point out that, as you can see right here, D is the number that Romy identified. And yes, Romy, I would say that because you did the problem first and you didn't look at the 4 possible answers, we now have a correct correct answer. Excuse me. Question number 14. Tamika works in a shoe store and is paid a 12% commission on her sales. In January, her sales totals were $3,740 to the nearest dollar. How much did Tamika earn in commission for January? So once again, it's all about knowing how to convert a percentage into a decimal. When you see that percentage, know that a percentage is a number out of 100. And once you have this fraction, you can then convert it into a decimal. That's one of the things that's really going to be important. Knowing how to convert from percentage to fraction to decimal. These three numbers are showing 12%, 12/100ths, and the decimal 12/100ths as well. So I'm not going to solve that because I think it was pretty similar to the other couple problems. Let's go ahead and move forward. Like I said, this video is really just a way to help you guys to review what will be tested in 2 weeks. All right, a calculator that is regularly priced for $20 is on sale for 40% off. What is the sale price of the calculator? Please go ahead and jot this down on your paper. And this brings me to another strategy I'd like to recommend. I won't have you guys, many of you guys, for homeroom during the test, but please understand, when your teacher gives you scratch paper, use it. One of the reasons why most kids are not doing well in CASP is because they're not using their paper, they're not using their pencil, they're just basically doing everything in their head, or maybe just slightly doing some stuff on a scratch pad. So I would really recommend paper and pencil. Frankly, I think those that use scratch paper are going to do better than those that do not. So if you did the work on your paper right now, you should see that 40% of $20, I believe did we get $8? And then you would take away the $8 from the 20, and there we go. Now, obviously, I used a little mental math. I didn't use a calculator. You guys will use a calculator on the test as well. Number 17, the percentage discount at a store is determined using a table below. Once again, when you see these percentages, know how to convert these into decimals. Frankly, all you have to really do is kind of think about pennies. Think about currency. If you have 35% of a dollar, that's 35 cents. What's 30% of a dollar? 30 cents. And then 0.25, you guys know, is a quarter. So that's a good way of kind of thinking about percentages to decimals. Once you have the decimals, then all you have to do is multiply the number times the decimal. I'm almost done, guys. Thank you for being respectful, allowing me to teach. And I actually don't think we'll be tested on negative exponents. We did 5 years ago, but that will not be something you're required to do in 2 weeks. We're now going to move into fractions. Actually, it's kind of funny, but multiplication of fractions and division of fractions is easier than addition and subtraction. Anyone notice what is wrong with this problem? Take a look. What do we notice about the denominators when subtracting? Yeah, so Giselle noticed that the denominators are not the same. They're not a common number. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out equivalent fractions. So what you would do is you would skip count by eighths. So 8, 16, 24, and you can see I'm counting my multiples of 3. 8 times 4 is 32, 8 times 5 is 40, and 48. Those are called multiples of 8. My 8 looks a little funky, I apologize. I'm now going to count by sixes, or skip count by sixes. 6, 12, 18, we're almost done, guys. And as you can see, 24 is the common denominator. What we're going to do is we're going to change 7/8 into 21 over 24. How did I get that? Well, what I did is I multiplied 8 times 3 to get 24. Whatever I do to the denominator, I have to do to the numerator. And as you can see, 7/8 is equal to 21 24ths. Then what I can do, I'm going to convert my 5/6 into 20 24ths. And then I could solve this problem. Now the question is asking basically what is a way to find the least common denominator. You guys probably have kind of forgotten cross multiplication at this point in time, but as you guys can see, 7 times 3 is 21, and then 8 times 3, 24. So that gets that's your 21 over 24. And then 5 times 4 is 20, 6 times 4 is 24, and once again, with cross multiplication, you can see that we have example A as the correct answer. So I'm done. Thank you guys for allowing me to solve these problems. We took a brief look at percentages, and that is questions 10 through 20 on the CST from 5 years ago.